Hello, my name is Rachael Dickzen, and this is a poem I wrote called Not Planned. I was not a planned child. I have known this for years, and it has never particularly bothered me. Actually, I find it rather funny. I am the youngest of three, and I consider myself a truly delightful, if forceful, surprise. My sister announced she was pregnant only mere months after she went off birth control the weekend of my brother's wedding in a hotel room in Houston. There was a watermelon on a chair in the room. I don't remember why. I put a hat on it. Mere weeks later, my brother called, said he had something to tell me, and within 9 months, I had two wonderful new nieces. I was 21 when they were born, still new to dating, life, and love. I adored them instantly, but was also in so much awe of their existence, the very fact of their breathing and their exquisitely tiny fingers. Their lack of existence one summer and then their very much presence the next made me especially aware of the world. And the fact that someone had to care for those tiny fingers and do everything for them and be everything for them for several years at least. From then on, I vowed to myself to be exceptionally careful with my contraceptives. See, I am able to joke about being an accident because I have always known that I am ferociously loved. Good people who didn't plan for me still wanted me once I was there and were in the position to give me everything I needed and many things I wanted in life. Not everyone has that. So many do not have anything even close to that. This does not come up that often in my life, and it is just a fact of my life, so it does not seem particularly exceptional or unusual to me. But all of my cousins are adopted, four of them, from different circumstances and at different ages. Their stories are not my own, so I will not tell them, beyond the fact that they exist and I always knew. I am so grateful that my family never hid the fact of adoption from any of us ever. Thus, I knew from an early age that not all parents want to be parents, and not all parents are good parents, and others want to be parents so badly that they will do whatever it takes to become parents in other ways. Children and parenthood and the lines connecting their lives are far more complicated than so many would like you to think. In recent years, I have grown restless and tired and bored of my job and my life at times and wonder if anybody knows what we are living for, as the song goes. In many ways, I feel like I have yet to find my place. So my brain claws urgently at the walls of my skull, trying so hard to find contentment anywhere it can, anything to keep away the malaise, which sits in me telling me that I will never truly find a way to find happiness and keep it. It is often such a struggle to deal with and try to fight my way out of. And so on occasion, I think that perhaps a child would help fill some hole or make things more interesting or give me more meaning. But I will not have a child just to scratch some itch or as insurance that I will not die alone. I only want to have a child if I want a child, in all caps and with multiple exclamation points and no uncertainty. Perhaps others are content with a lower bar for wanting, but that is what I need for myself. Because see, I have these chronic pain issues that would make having a child in any way, shape, or form much more of a physical hurt than it is for most people. I already live every day in pain, which only seems to grow with age. These are not pests to be swatted away by Advil or Leave, but ever-present friends that are with me now and will still be with me when I die. I speak mostly of the tight, constant soreness of my neck because that started first and has hung longest on my soul. But there is also the jaw pain, the nagging ache in my wrists, the stabbing in my feet that I have basically ignored for years and is unresponsive to my attempts to help it now. Oh, and those constant mild headaches I have had since February that keep me from even wearing glasses without pain. The things that work for other people rarely work for me at all. I have a mountain of pain relief devices I have tried and discarded. I have a similar mountain of doctors and therapists' names, people I have seen in some desperation to try to rid myself of the pain. And beyond just that, my mind scatters itself across the world so regularly that it is difficult for me to keep focus on or remember any one thing as it is. Although I desperately need a massage and I've needed one since May, it is mid-July now and I have yet to schedule one still because of not knowing where to fit it in and not being able to remember for weeks at a time to pick up a phone and call. And in the background, depression curls up and waits, ready to appear anytime I let down my guard. All of these things only grow and multiply with age, and frankly would only get worse with a small sentient human dependent on me for life and food and home. Let us be honest, children complicate life, which is fine and a decent price to pay for someone who wants them. The ongoing permanent responsibility of loving a being who will turn your world upside down and demand every iota of energy and attention and money you have is worth it for many who hope these things will also result in beautiful moments and experiences and relationships. But it is not always the right existence to give for someone who isn't sure. This is true of everyone, for sure. But I particularly see these things always through a lens of pain because I do not have the choice to ignore it. For even if I did not carry them myself, children must be picked up and held, and that would hurt me every time, but I would do it anyway because I could never knowingly neglect my child. And I am sorry, I do not want that for my life. That should always be my choice. How could I bring a child into my life knowing the great pain it will cause me unless I truly eagerly wanted them there? Children are smarter than we think and often heartbreakingly intuitive. If I had a child, I would never want them to feel me resent them or regret them because of my increasing pain. If my contraceptives were ever to fail, I would, I know, choose to avoid that desperate fate for either me or a child. It feels selfish sometimes, for I am so fortunate and so able in so many ways. I am well paid and have a steady, trustworthy partner I love. We are privileged to fit the white, cisgender, heterosexual Barbie and Ken mold with a 2-story house in the suburbs. We're both from happy, well-off families of parents still together. We honestly have so many privileges and odds in our favor, and we still can't imagine caring for and raising a child. Even with our advantages, life is so hard, and this country only grows harder. It is hard to comprehend how anyone makes it work. People do, and that is good, and that is wonderful, and they should be given more support. But those who don't should not have to. I am 34, and my bones and muscles ache as if I were much older. The pain right now grinds into my brain and makes it difficult to even think. I'm trying to find a conclusion here, and I find myself at a loss of words. I could say so much more about being from Texas, or being a former Christian, or having an intense phobia of pregnancy. But I think it comes down to this. Children deserve parents who love them and want them. And people deserve to decide whether they will bear or have a child. It is too big a decision and too impactful on all 3+ involved and too close to the heart and the well-being of the world to force those who do not have the means or desire into parenthood as a consequence for some mistake. I used to believe everything happened for a reason and the arc of the universe bended towards justice, but not for a while now, and especially not the last few years. In the midst of all the chaos and pain of this world, I stand alone without belief. The only thing I know is love, which should be the center of all our actions towards others and ourselves. Otherwise, what is even the point?